good football team to 24 points. They weren't able to run the ball, but I thought they threw the ball well on our defense. But the man to the right of me, he had a heck of a game. You know, you threw for over 300 yards. Rush for another 100 yards. I mean, you can't ask too much more of a quarterback than that. But as a team, we got to find ways to win on the road. You know, that's what we talk about. You know, that's something we did good last year that led to a national championship, and we're off to a good start now. But hats off to Coach Shade and his staff. They did an excellent job of preparation. But, you know, I'm very pleased with our football team. But it's the same deal. You know, we got to eliminate the penalties. Again, double-digit penalties. You know, I take full blame for that as the head coach and the leader of this program. And we're going to continue to correct that. So we'll get back in there tomorrow, Sunday, start getting ready for Alabama State. You know, that's a big one next week. That's a big game. It's not only homecoming, but I think this got a lot of implications on whoever's going to be that East Division champ. You know, they got a quarterback over there that's playing well, but we're going to enjoy this one and take this one in and, you know, start getting ready tomorrow for the next opponent.
You guys hung over 700 total yards on Alabama and A&M. Let's talk about your performance. You know, you were able to extend a lot of plays with your legs and hit some timely passes. Elaborate a little bit more on that.
Yeah, it's not much about me. The coach had a great game plan. We got the ball players to do what we got to do out there, and just to dominate. You know, just take one play at a time. We had a great practice. We had a great week of practice, and it just came out today.
Coach, no passing touchdowns for Jacoby in his first two appearances, and then 6 between last game and this game. What have you seen change in him in these last 2 games and the way he's been able to come out and play?
He's just been responding. I've been on him tough, you know. It hadn't been pleasant. You know, anytime you got a young man like him, his caliber, you know, my expectation for him is high. You know, his teammates expect him to show up and play well. And he did come out to a slow start, you know, but he owed it to himself, not to this team, but he owed it to himself to come out in these last 2 games and play the way he has played. I mean, anytime the quarterback is playing well, you got an opportunity to win a championship, and that's what we got right now. He's playing at a high level, but it's all about kind of what he said. He's understanding now he has the pieces around him in order to be successful. When you talk about the receiver core, the O-line, the running backs, we got a really explosive unit out there. So anytime he plays well, these are the kind of performances you'll see 700+ yards game. And the thing about it, we left some stuff out there tonight. You know, we left some plays out there. So, but very pleased the way he's responded. You know, he's our leader.
Can you talk about your defense overall, how they played tonight?
Yeah, we knew they had a good quarterback over there. That guy over there can play quarterback, but I think a lot of him as well in this league. But, you know, we're going to strike. You know, it was 15, our safety, Cam Silas, was knocking people around. This guy here had 10 tackles. He's doing it week in, week out. So, you know, that's what kind of game it was, though. But our defense has been elite all year long. We got a lot of bodies we can roll in there and make plays on the defensive side, on the D-line, at the second level. The linebackers are playing at a high level. Our secondary is really stepping up now. So, and we're going to need them down the stretch. You know, our philosophy here is play good defense and just go score points. So they're playing good football. They're right where they need to be as a team right now.
How fun is it for you to go out here and play with this type of offense where there's so many different weapons and watching so many different teammates be able to score touchdowns?
Yeah, it's very fun. All I got to do is do my job, and that's what Coach preach day in and day out. So it's perfect. It's easy to me. Just do my job.
What it seemed like you got stronger as the game went on. Tell me about how you feeling out there.
I felt great, but it's really just shout out to the coaches. You know, they did adjustments on the fly, had a couple explosives that we gave up, but I feel like we adjusted on the fly and we played as a team. We never bend on break.
Coach, you had a switch at kicker partway through the game. Was that your choice? Did something happen to?
Yeah, just give what we call him G-Baby, to give him a chance to settle down a little bit. But you saw we went right back to him. He was kind of hard, got kind of down on himself as a football player. And, you know, you're talking about a preseason all-conference, you know, place kicker, you know. But I thought Donovan stepped in there and made some key kicks for us, you know. But that talks about our football team and our depth. You know, we got a lot of guys over there that can play the game in all phases of the game. But that's all it was, you know, just give G-Baby time to settle back down and go back out there and do his job.
Any other questions?
How does a game like this set you up for going into next week? Like you said, it has potential to be a very important game in terms of the SWAC East. how does something like this give you momentum going into that type of game?
Shoot, anytime you can put that many points on the board, you're going to be ready. You know, you're going to have some kind of momentum. But I told these guys last night at the dinner, remember I told them, I said, we're right there. I see it. We about to become special, you know, and that they listened to me and they went out there and responded with that today. But, you know, coming off a good week of practice, we played well last week. We've just been building up. It's just been building up. Now, you know, it's that explosion that I expected to see this time. But, hey, we got to play a good football game next week. You know, Coach Eddie Robb, that's my guy there, but they're going to come ready to play. The last time, you know, we hosted them for homecoming, they clipped me. You know, they beat us last time. So I remember A.D. Robb brought it up about, you know, this homecoming schedule. And I'm like, let's bring them back. You know, it's going to be a lot of people in town. We're looking forward to it, but we're playing good football now and we accept the challenge.
Quincy, talk about tonight. You had 10 big tackles, but talk about your support group behind you that came to play big tonight.
Yeah, shout out to everybody, secondary, D-line, linebackers. You know, we was just all on one accord. And also shout out to our coaches. You know, throughout the week we come in early, game planning, preparing for them. So just shout out to everybody.
Jacoby, you had a big game also, running and passing, but talk about your support staff, also in your O-line.
Yeah, the O-line, that's a nasty bunch, you know, and they get the job. They get the job done. So
you heard what T.C. Taylor and the rest of his team had to say, Jacoby and Morgan, and it all boils down to Jacoby and Morgan. There's no more to be said. 100 yards rushing and big numbers throwing the ball, man. 4 touchdowns in the air, 1 touchdown on the ground. Enough said. What a dominating performance by him and a big-time win by Jackson State. I'm out.